I'm Crystal.
I'm Christian.
I'm Caitlyn.
And
Here come the Lemkeys. Hello there. We talked about in our last vlog that we were going on vacation with my sister. So we decided to bring her on for
Hello, Caitlyn.
a little new vlog that we're doing today. So thank you for joining us, Caitlyn.
Thank you for inviting me. I am honored.
So today's vlog, we have a couple things that we want to talk about.
So, news came out a couple days ago that there has been a comprehensive plan, so to speak, of possible Disney expansion. And so, we're the type of family where we like to have fun and we say, okay, what do you think it could be? What kind of hotels? Was it going to be a fifth park? What is something that they can do? And then we challenge each other and say, okay, let's try to figure out what would be a nighttime show. What would be an e-ticket attraction if they were to open up a fifth park, because I think that's what everybody's kind of waiting for right now from Disney is a new park. So that's what we've kind of done before we vlogged, is we said, let's make this one about if there was a fifth park, what would we do? And so we figured out a park name, all three of us individually, a park name. We figured out an e-ticket attraction at that park. We figured out a nighttime show of some sort, and then was there one more?
The icon of the
The
park.
icon. That's
So
right.
with the 5 parks, then the 4 icons on her shirt: Spaceship Earth, Tower of Terror, the castle, and then the Tree of Life. So we decided to come up with our own ideas of what would that fifth park be. And we know with Universal's recent opening of Epic Universe that Disney probably feels pressured that they have to go out and try to do something. We're going to go person by person, actually right here in the row, of what they came up with. And we're going to see, again, my sister is very worried that we have very much so the same type of thinking. So this will be fun to see how many of our ideas were the same.
Because we don't know. We did this all individually. We were in our pool and we said, hey, this is what we should do. So we all kind of kept quiet for like 15, 20 minutes on our phone. And so we have no idea what each other is about to say.
Am I going first?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. I have to get my phone out because I have a lot of
Oh,
notes.
yes. Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
If Disney were to open a fifth park, the name of it would be Disney's Domain of Darkness.
Oh!
And it is going to be a villains park. Okay?
Did you do that?
So,
Nope.
okay, that makes me feel better.
I did that.
You did?
I did do that.
Oh!
Really?
I did. I did.
Wow.
So this will be fun.
We'll see.
Okay, so
how it
question.
should- Yeah.
And if not, it's fine. As you go along and share, like, since obviously we both have a villain's land, like, do you want to share your icon, then I share my icon, and then you share your e-ticket, then I share? Or do you just want to go right down the line?
No, we can share. We
I
can
think
go
that'd
back
be
and
fun.
forth. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, what was your name?
The name of... Well, you can say first, because
I
honestly...
just did.
Oh, say it again. I'm sorry.
Disney's Domain of Darkness.
Domain of Darkness. Mine is really... Whew,
I was
really
going.
easy.
I was going back and forth. Can I say my other one?
Yeah.
That I was gonna say. The Forbidden Realm was the other
Ooh,
one, which
I like that
really was going back and forth, and I couldn't decide. But I liked the Disney's Domain of Darkness. I think that just
Yes.
goes along with it.
Yes. Mine is just Disney's Dark Kingdom.
Okay.
Very, very cut and dry, to the point. Like, because I was thinking Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, like Hollywood Studios, Epcot. They're all just like really quick. So I'm like, Disney's Dark Kingdom.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't look.
So then, my icon is Maleficent's Forbidden Mountain. So in the daytime, the mountain is portrayed as this very eerie, kind of oh, what is it going to be kind of mountain, almost like the Phantasmic kind of setup where it's like surrounded by water, because that kind of plays into my nighttime show like later on. But by night, the mountain kind of comes alive. Okay? So it is like breathing smoke. It's almost like a dragon kind of thing. And
hire us, Disney. I'm telling you.
And then like lightning will like strike kind of like, and so it kind of gets spooky, and then like the villains,
projections.
Yep. And then like the villains kind of start to like the voices or maybe like the laughs of like all the different like villains are like kind of like quietly going through like as it gets darker. So then it'll also be just like surrounded by water, and like so it'll have like be able to have like those water projections like Phantasmic.
Okay, mine was Throne of Shadows, but same concept. So like a really eerie black stone, like think of like Cinderella's castle, but like Maleficent's castle.
Yeah, dark.
And then like little glow of green, like to make it super eerie. And then kind of like what you said, I thought of an idea of, you know how Animal Kingdom always has like the projections on the Tree of Life?
Yeah.
Like throughout the day.
Yes.
Like, well, like at night, yes.
Yes. And so I was thinking like every hour, kind of like what you said, I literally have on here The Castle Awakens, and it's portraying different villains. So like a different villain has their own little show every hour.
I like that.
So like one would be Scar, and it's like a little be prepared thing. And
hire us.
How perfect would that be?
Hire
How
us.
perfect would that be? But yeah, same kind of idea there. So
Okay.
we got this. We're making the next park.
So then my attraction, I think you're gonna really like my attraction.
Okay.
It is called Hades Underworld.
Ooh, I do like.
And so it's gonna be a like fiery, like dark roller coaster, with like the blue kind of flames, and like you're kind of going through like the underworld as Hades. Like, that was really all I had for my ride. My other stuff was very much more elaborate, but
That's good.
that was like I liked it.
Yeah. No, I like that. We have always said that there has to be something with Hades.
Yeah.
Or like
Hercules
how
of
is there
some
not?
sort. Yeah.
Right. So mine was called Realm of Shadows, Villains Unleashed, is what my ride would be called. So I have it like as a hybrid ride, so like a dark ride plus like a coaster as well. But I also have Hades as my main person. This is so crazy. And you were so worried about your brother. Like, hello, your sister. So we as guests are recruited by Hades, and we join these League of Villains, and we go through the ride. And again, like different villains have like their own part, and they like, as you go through the ride, they join you, and then they retell the stories, but with them winning in the end. So like you go through.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So something else is coming, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, but yeah, like with each turn, a new villain kind of joins you on the ride, and sort of speak like breaks the fairy tales.
Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I
like that. So, going off of that, my nighttime show that I would pick would be called Evil Never Sleeps.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's
and
a good
it's
one.
where the villains will take over the skies, the water, and then also the mountain, Maleficent's mountain. And it'll be where villains will rewrite the storybook to make them victorious in every like storyline. So kind of like what your ride is doing would be
but
like
in your
more my
nighttime
nighttime show.
I like
So
That is
like
really
if you
good.
think about the villain part in Phantasmic, that was kind of what I was like thinking of as like how they wanted to be victorious. They didn't want Mickey to win in anything, so it was more so like the villains
And I like
taking over.
what I really like about that is every time we see, like if we're at Magic Kingdom, we see Happily Ever After. The fireworks show is just so good at bringing everything together. So like when I see Little Mermaid, when I see Beauty and the Beast, it's like I go on all the rides during the day, and then it's brought all together at night in a show.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's what Phantasmic does at Hollywood Studios. And then I just like my thought about doing it, like, what I'm thinking about when you bring it up for a nighttime show is, like, you go on all these rides with villains and then literally ends the night with, like you said, them being victorious and winning.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is called Rule the Night. So probably very similar. But I have, fireworks, villains appearing in the sky, so whether that's drones or just like projections on, the Dark Castle. And then it just ends with all of the villains coming up. So whether it's a drone or all projections, all their faces. So, the most popular villains or all of them or however, and they all just end by saying, the night is ours. And it's like, then your finale fireworks show.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple other things, if it's okay to add. It wasn't on our list, but I was having way too much fun with this. Is I thought, too, they could have, like, a nighttime, like, parade, because I know they're bringing back, so Disneyland will have Paint the Night.
Yep.
And then Disney World is bringing back the electrical parade, right?
No, it's like a new nighttime show called like Starlight.
Yep.
So it's the same idea of like,
because that was before me. I've never seen. You guys have.
Spectrum Magic.
Yeah.
Was the electric parade.
Yep.
And so I thought it'd be so cool if they did a villains masquerade. So like, I don't know, just super eerie and like all the villains are in a parade. And then I was trying to think of like lands as well, and I thought of Twisted Carnival. So you have your characters like Sid, Oogie Boogie, Lotso.
Oh, that's good.
And just having like different.
That's good.
Yeah. So
I like that.
Clearly, villains are at the top of a lot of our lists. So
I'm a happy person, so I came up with something completely different. So what I tried to do was make something that I truly believe that. Now, I'm not saying your ideas isn't something that Disney would be willing to build. But what my idea is what would Disney be able to do that I think people would be like, wow, I really want to go to this. So the name of my park, which everyone's going to be like, nah, but it's Walt Disney's Animation Studios. Okay, so instead of Hollywood Studios, you have Walt Disney's Animation Studio. And what this is a park for all the movies that are not Pixar, that are Walt Disney Animation Studios movies. Okay? And so the icon, which is the icon at the Walt Disney Animation Studios, is to bring back Sorcerer Mickey's hat from the old MGM and have that as the icon of this park, because that is the...
And something I never got to see.
Right, and so the big Sorcerer Mickey hat, and to bring that back would be, I think, just iconic. The lands that I would pick would be Arendelle.
Oh, you picked all your lands.
Yep.
Okay.
So Arendelle
pardon us.
would be the first land, with my e-ticket attraction of the Hong Kong version of the Oaken roller coaster, and it's, the giant abominable snowman like from the Frozen ride in Epcot is chasing after you, and you're going through the mountains.
You took this a total different way than I thought.
So that's what I think would be something that Disney would be able to do. Also, I would like them to do a ride based on Olaf in this land as well. I think he's a beloved character that deserves his own ride. Maybe even like a dark ride or something along those lines. Okay, next land would be Corona, but Tangled. So it's a land strictly for Rapunzel. There'd be a boat ride, her little castle that she would...
more than the bathrooms.
Yes.
She deserves
the
more.
beloved Tangled bathroom.
Yeah, she's going to get more than the bathrooms.
As she deserves.
And I think there's a boat ride also in Hong Kong that is one of the most beautiful boat rides. I think bringing that, because there's so many duplicate rides like overseas and in the States that people love so much. I feel like that's something Disney would be able to do. Okay, next would be Montanui, Moana. I think another like dark ride with Maui and maybe even like a little bit of the Moana 2 aspect in their dark ride as well. But again, something that I think Disney would be able to do. And then the last one that I have is Zootopia. They just are building like a Zootopia land in Shanghai. And I think there's a ride that is pretty similar to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, with Zootopia. And I think that is something that Disney would be able to do. But those 4 lands, again, those are Walt Disney animation movies. And I think those are lands, one, Disney's already built them. So they know how to build them. And I think they could make even a new ride, a new attraction perhaps, like a dark ride, like I said. Or they can bring the rides from overseas that are already successful and put them into this park.
And then that gives them less to actually, like, when they
Plan.
they know how to make those rides. They've already done them before. They have the layout, the blueprint of all of that.
Right.
Then they can focus on maybe new, smaller attractions, shows, dining experiences.
Right. But to me, if I told you that there was a park where you could go to Arendelle, to Corona, to Montalui, to Zootopia, like those are big lands. It's not, that's something that people would go to see, and I wanted it to be like something that's Epic Universe. Epic is such a great, and like the lands in it are so amazing. And so I thought that would be something that Disney would be able to do. And so my nighttime show would be called The Magic in Music. And so it would be a theater pretty much like Fantasmic, a stage with a live orchestra that plays the beloved music and soundtracks from these motion pictures.
Especially like the OGs.
And there's water around these, like the stage, and there's sometimes where they're playing the music in the dark, and there's projections on the water. Again, I'm kind of using the idea of like Fantasmic, but with fireworks. And then again, I almost would say that there's no, like, I want there to be like a song, kind of like Happily Ever After, but I also think about like when you and I went to Hollywood Studios and the orchestra played, and there was no words. It was just the scenes.
They did that where Beauty and the Beast was at.
Right.
Why did they do that? Was it just like a...
It was just like the
sounds...
Beauty
and the Beast has always been there, right?
Right. And so it was like a Pixar orchestra.
That's what it was.
And it was, they have a screen behind them. They play the songs and the music from those movies. And
it just gets your emotions.
Right. There's so many parts of these movies that make you so emotional because they bring you in, and it's just, to me, what makes a nighttime show so good is the music. And so bringing those beloved songs and soundtracks from those movies into a orchestra type like live show, I think now again that's pretty hard to do because you got to have all these people doing all the shows
even at Epcot when they did Harmonious.
Right.
That was recorded, but they had on Disney Plus a show of, they did do it live once. So that's something they could do with that.
To me, what makes me so in love with a nighttime spectacular is the music. So to make it all about the music, to me, would be something that many people would love. Because like, I always remember When You Wish Upon a Star. I always bring that back to being a kid when we were in Magic Kingdom watching Wishes. And it's like, that to me, it's like, it's all about the music. And it really does make an impact on many people around the world. And that's the best part about it is like, no matter where you're from, you're all accustomed to the music.
Right.
And so
it just leaves it to your own imagination.
It literally speaks to all of us because it doesn't matter what language you speak or where you're from. The sounds are all the same. So that to me would be fantastic. Not phantasmic, but fantastic.
That was a completely different direction that you took that, and I 100,000,000,000% thought you were going Pixar.
Yeah, see, and I originally, that was my original idea, was a Pixar themed land, and the icon would be the lamp.
Yeah.
I thought that would be cool, but at the same time, Yeah, or the ball. And it's like, but to me, there's already like Pixar Pier and California Adventure. So it's like...
Yeah, Toy Story Land, Hollywood Studios.
Right. So I'm like, but I know I took fantastic lands from all these different parks from around the world and combined them into one. In the comments, I want you to tell us which theme park would you want Disney to build? Would it be my sister Caitlyn's? Would it be
And what was your name again?
Domain of Darkness.
So would it be Domain of Darkness?
Dark Kingdom.
Or Walt Disney's Animation Studio? Which one would you want? Now, to end this, we have one more thing that we're going to recreate. And that is, during your trip to Disney World, a lot of the times, or Disneyland in our case, there are attractions that are going into refurbishment. So for our trip specifically, when we go to Disneyland, two of the rides that my sister was most excited for are going to be under refurbishment. And
Credit Coaster and Matterhorn bobsleds.
And those two are some iconic rides. So as some people notice when they go on their vacation, a ride is down. So we decided if we had to refurbish a ride, and this is going to be a long refurbishment. This isn't just, we're polishing the tracks. We are completely reimagining.
More of like a retheme. Yeah, reimagine or retheme.
Yep.
Of an attraction. And our rule was it could not be an attraction that has already been reimagined. And we cannot re-back imagine. Meaning we can't do Tiana's Bayou Adventure to Splash Mountain.
Or we can't make Rock and Roller Coaster Powerline.
Because that's
Sad.
what
Sad.
Because it's already being
refurbished to Muppets.
So I'm going to guess that was one.
That was the one I was going to do.
But we made a rule, and we decided we are going to change one attraction in Walt Disney World specifically to something that might get people to ride it even more. So we'll start in the same order.
All right.
Go ahead, Caitlin. What attraction are you going to reimagine in Walt Disney World?
So my retheme is Space Mountain in Disney World, because I haven't rode the one
That's
in...
a big one!
And it would be to Lightyear Hyperspace Rescue. So, Buzz Lightyear Ranger Spin, not the best ride. That one can just go. But
you get to replace it with something as well?
I don't have an idea for that, but with it being in that same area in Tomorrowland, then it could be that you are a part of Buzz's Elite Star Command, and you are on a mission to rescue a fellow lost ranger in hyperspace. So more so like based on Lightyear, since that's like the newer type of movie, but making it a little bit better, because I think like they can do so much with Space Mountain. I know that's like an iconic, I'm gonna get a lot of backlash for this, but Space Mountain has never been my favorite ride in Walt Disney World, but hopefully that changes when I go to Disneyland, because I've heard that it is way better. But having something that is actually themed with Disney,
and giving it kind of like a story,
and giving it something, because I think it's just very like, I mean, like I love, you know, the Space Mountain cue music is like very iconic, that is known for so much, but I think like giving it something else will like help elevate that ride, maybe not making it so like crazy.
I have one requirement.
What is that?
That Tim Allen has to be the voice.
Absolutely.
Because you said OG. Lightyear.
I understand. I know.
I need Tim Allen.
Storyline wise, it's more Lightyear than
I love that idea. I'm going to need there to be a pre-show, kind of like the Guardians, the Rise. We're going to need, like, take the Buzz Lightyear that's in Buzz Lightyear Ranger Spin, put it in Space Mountain, make a pre-show of whatever
the storyline is going to be, like...
You're rescuing a Space Ranger in hyperspace. and we need your help. And I think that's a great idea. Honestly, we can get rid of and do the like yeah like that's in Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Very good.
So kind of taking that and like flipping it over.
I love that. That's great.
Well, I think you and I are more alike than we think.
Oh no.
For being in-laws.
Oh no.
No, this is good.
Okay.
I like it. Not the same ride, but kind of the same concept. And I didn't actually think this far I didn't think of concept. I just kind of thought about what would be rethemed.
Yeah.
But my ride, and please let me know if you agree, because I feel like 90% of Disney fans would, is Mission Space. I just don't get the hype. I've never been on Orange, so I guess I won't know unless I ever go on Orange, but I don't want to ruin my day, and I'm not one to get motion sickness. This one is.
Ruined my
And do you
whole
get
day.
it on green?
No, because it doesn't really, it doesn't really, like, it doesn't spin.
Yeah.
Like, it just is kind of like...
Mine is
hydraulic.
being, like, enclosed.
Yeah.
But again, like, anytime you can put an element of actual, like, Disney in there. So mine would be Lightyear as well. But I don't have, like, a story for it. Like...
I think just kind of converting it
Yeah.
from what it is now to being a space ranger going
Right.
on a mission in space.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they don't really have an actual mission like how yours does, but I think just theming it again, I think I would try it again, and then get rid of the green and the orange, because I don't know. Take a tally, Disney, of how many people come off that orange ride just sicker than a dog. Just get rid of it.
Well, and I think that I'm going to have a request for each one of your rides. I already did yours, and now yours is there has to be one line said in your ride. There's the person giving the speech of each job in Mission Space. It has to be Buzz. He has to tap on the TV, and he has to go, there seems to be no signs of intelligent life anywhere.
Agreed.
And I think that would be like kind of a comedic relief before you got on the ride.
That's a good one.
So, all right. Again, here's the crazy thing. I am the Toy Story nut. I love Toy Story. Mine's not Toy Story. So, my ride is to completely get rid of Tomorrowland Speedway. Sorry, it's annoying, it's loud, and we're going to keep the cars. We're going to retheme it to a new e-ticket attraction in Magic Kingdom.
Oh.
Sugar Rush Racers.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
From Wreck-It Ralph. We're going to enclose this ride, and it's going to be a combo dark ride / thrill ride. And it'll be a combination of Test Track and...
I was just thinking Test Track.
Radiator Springs Racers, because the point of the ride is going to be that you are in the ride and you are riding in the car with Vanellope, and you have to win the race or else you're going to get stuck in the game and King Candy is going to take it over. So you're in Vanellope's car, and taking the idea of kind of Radiator Springs Racers, there's going to be animatronics of Wreck-It Ralph, of King Candy, of Vanellope, and you're going to go through different rooms of like the dark ride, kind of telling the story of what happened and how did Vanellope get stuck in this game.
I want to bounce off of that. So I think you could take it to where it starts as like, how when you play that game it starts where it's like all rainbows and butterflies and it's so pretty, and then once she glitches then it takes you off and then it turns into a dark ride, right? And then you can race to make sure that you get back and you don't get stuck in the game. So taking it kind of like where it turns into more of a dark ride,
right,
when she glitches and goes, and it like how like the tracks switch, and you go the other way.
Yeah, I like that.
That's smart.
And I think too, one of the things I want to add is I love the idea of pre-shows, like the new idea of like Guardians, because it's like part of the experience.
Builds up
Rise
anticipation.
of the Resistance. It's part of the experience.
Makes it an immersive experience. experience.
Immersive,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Immersive.
Yay!
And so, when you are immersed in this ride, I think just doing a pre-show of like Fix-It Felix and Wreck-It Ralph and going back to the original movie of I'm gonna wreck it, and he's playing the game, and then the next thing you know, King Candy kind of comes in and takes over the game, and now you're in Sugar Rush, and it kind of just tells the story, and there's multiple rooms. Again, I'm kind of stealing this from Rise of the Resistance, from Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Because again, as a guest on this attraction, when you get in those rooms, it's part of the ride.
And you forget that you're technically waiting in line.
Right.
That's all you're doing.
Right. It's a glorified way of R.I.P. Muppet Vision 3D. When you're standing in a room, watching a TV, waiting for your ride or your turn on the show or the ride. And people forget that they're waiting in line.
Right.
But in all reality...
And it builds up a story.
And to me, that's what good rides are, is... a Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, I'm going on this ride because I have to get back the cosmic generator. That, to me, is part of the attraction, and I think that would be something cool. And to have that in Magic Kingdom, think about the attractions in Magic Kingdom. Then you have, if you reimagine Space Mountain, if you reimagine Tomorrowland Speedway, think of the e-ticket attractions. Right. In Magic Kingdom.
That alone makes it feel like a new park.
Yeah. Right, and to me...
Because you're revamping Tomorrowland,
right.
essentially, and then which needs a makeover drastically anyway.
So, to me, this video that we did today is kind of thinking of where Disney's going, what could they be doing, and what things could they change that they already have. And
because that's what they do all the time.
Right.
And sometimes it stinks, but... sometimes things happen and it's like this is exactly what they needed.
But you also have to think there's so many people like us, avid Disney goers, that go. I don't go every year, but I go every other year. And you need to me, new. Disney always has magic, and so I don't technically feel this way, but a lot of people probably do, where you need something else to keep you coming back. Right. What is going to make Disney elevate that much higher? Because now Epic Universe is there. It needs something to where it's making those people come back. Right. And I just think that it is such a great thing when Disney rethemes rides, just because then that just keeps everybody coming back, and like it keeps our trips super exciting because it's something new every time.
A great point, because we even said in the first vlog that this is why we're vlogging, because we've done everything and we want to bring another element of fun to it. So that's a really good point. Yeah. And thank you so much for coming on our vlog today. I cannot wait for the next time we'll have Caitlyn, which will be actually in Disneyland and at our surprise hotel.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's been an honor.
So if you've made it this far in our video, make sure you give it a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that bell.
Boom.
Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow today.
Peace.
Bye.